In today's video, we will examine the likely effect of BRICS and the EU teaming up and whether it can prompt the defeat of the US dollar. As of now, the BRICS nations represent roughly 31.5% of the world's gross domestic product because of buying power equality. This figure rises to 33% when Iran and Argentina are included. This group of countries has the potential to form a significant trade bloc and has enough economic power to justify the establishment of a reserve currency. Furthermore, there is a massive potential for synergy between the countries. The combined output of oil, iron, corn, and wheat by the expanded BRICS countries represents a substantial percentage of global production. If these goods were to be traded using a new reserve currency, it would undoubtedly become a cornerstone of the world economy. In the meantime, the US dollar is, as of now, encountering a decline. As per a report delivered by the IMF in June, the US dollar, right now, represents just 59% of worldwide stores, a huge drop from the 70% it addressed in 1999. The report also highlighted that central bank reserve managers are actively reducing their exposure to the dollar in favor of non-traditional currencies. If the BRICS countries were to introduce their reserve currency, named the BRICS, and it was held in line with the bloc's importance in terms of global GDP, it could have a substantial impact on other reserve holdings. This could prompt further degrading of the US dollar, bringing about monetary precautiousness around the world. The EU has conflicted with the US over the utilization of the dollar as a worldwide currency. Officials from France have been pushing for strategic independence for the EU, arguing that it needs to support its industries and become less reliant on the US market. French President Emmanuel Macron suggested that the EU should take similar steps to the US by enacting policies to protect its car manufacturers, stating that we needed by European Act. Like the Americans, we need to reserve our subsidies for our European manufacturers. The EU is concerned about the Inflation Reduction Act and how it could harm EU producers. To address these worries, a team has been laid out among European and American authorities, which will meet consistently to examine the issue. The US government has stated that it wants to promote a better understanding of the law's benefits, which includes reducing costs for families and achieving climate goals. However, US officials are preoccupied with the upcoming midterm elections, and any changes to the law would have to be made during the implementation phase. Fredrik Eriksson, the director of the European Center for International Political Economy, has stated that the EU's concerns about the Inflation Reduction Act are legitimate, particularly concerning direct and indirect discrimination. He believes that many of the policies of the America First attitude will harm competition in EU firms, particularly in the green and clean technology sectors where the EU is competitive. While the EU might go to the World Trade Organization for help, Eriksson accepts that it would be keener on resolving the issue reciprocally with the US. Have you ever wondered how BRICS plans to replace the US dollar? Well, the answer might be found in their ambitious plans to create a new contactless payment system called BRICS Pay. This system aims to connect the national payment systems of BRICS member countries through a cloud platform that integrates the latest fintech innovations. BRICS Pay will be a single system that links the credit and debit cards of BRICS citizens to online wallets that are accessible 24/7 through a mobile app. It is part of a larger collective effort by BRICS to establish a common retail payment and transaction system among its members. However, the system is open to non-BRICS countries as well. The pilot project for BRICS Pay began in South Africa in April 2019 and in 2020. The Russian BRICS presidency proposed a commercial version of BRICS Pay for consideration by the BRICS Business Council. One significant advantage of BRICS Pay is that it could allow for the direct exchange of BRICS members' national currencies in external payments, without the need to convert to US dollars or involve US banks. This would extraordinarily decrease the reliance of BRICS members on worldwide installment associations like SWIFT, Visa, and MasterCard, and possibly give them an upper hand in the Worldwide Monetary Administration's market. The BRICS pay framework can disturb the monetary predominance of conventional Western banks and usher in another period of monetary freedom for BRICS member countries. Russia has clarified that fostering another international payment system is a first concern for the BRICS group because of the developing non-market chances related to global payment infrastructure. This is particularly important when considering the plans of China and Russia for BRICS crude oil. The New Development Bank, NDB, is a multilateral organization represented by its individuals and is a challenge to the US dollar's strength. However, there are also significant de-dollarization trends in the global oil market that can be enhanced by expanding the BRICS energy cooperation. The US dollar's position as the primary funding vehicle and pricing currency of the global oil trade has been instrumental in its hegemonic position in the global financial system. The leading crude oil pricing benchmarks, WTI and Brent, are priced in US dollars. Scholars have argued that the global commodity market, particularly the $1.7 trillion oil market, will be the main front where the future of the dollar's dominance will be determined. The use of non-dollar currencies in the global oil markets poses a serious challenge to the petrodollar system. BRICS is a strong enough group to challenge the petrodollar system. It forms a larger oil importing bloc than the entire European Union. China, the world's biggest energy importer, and Russia, the world's biggest energy exporter, are cooperating inside BRICS to advance yuan oil futures. Consequently, testing the US dollar's domineering situation in the worldwide oil market. With the new heightening of the US-China exchange war, China has facilitated its advancement of a petro-yuan, which is a renminbi-style oil trading system. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi visited major Gulf energy producers in 2021 to secure long-term energy deals and fuel the rise of the petro-yuan. Given China's push for the use of renminbi in oil pricing and trading, as well as the global demand for a non-dollar denominated oil trading mechanism, renminbi demonstrated oil trading is likely to become more significant and partially displace US dollar oil trading in various markets. The prospect of a petro-yuan could enable countries under US sanctions, including major oil exporters such as Iran and Russia, to access global markets through alternative currency and non-dollar payment systems, thereby diminishing the effectiveness of US sanctions power. The promotion of yuan oil futures by China is driven by its desire to encourage the use of the renminbi in oil trading and risk management, particularly in the settling of physical oil deliveries to reduce exchange risks. However, the Chinese government cannot independently launch the yuan oil futures and ensure fast growth in trading volume, as commodities trading requires the participation of both buyers and sellers. Nevertheless, the successful launch of the yuan oil futures and the increase in the trading volume demonstrate a strong market interest in the de-dollarization of the global oil trade. Similarly, Russia has a vested interest in de-dollarizing the global oil trade, as major Russian energy companies have been under US sanctions since the Ukraine crisis in 2014. Russia, being the world's biggest oil and natural gas exporter, depends intensely on vital oil and gas revenues to keep up with its financial security. In 2017, oil and gas accounted for 60% of Russia's export revenues and nearly 40% of government revenues. As such, BRICS provided support for Russia after the United States imposed sanctions on Russian companies in June 2017, with BRICS foreign ministers condemning unilateral military intervention or economic sanctions in violation of international law and universally recognized norms of international relations. The launch of the yuan oil's futures by China provides a critical alternative trading platform for Russian oil companies and consumers, thereby reducing their reliance on the US dollar. Moreover, the potential of the yuan oil futures to advance global oil trade de-dollarization is amplified when one considers its linkage to gold. China has made the yuan oil futures more attractive by providing trading infrastructure that allows for the swapping of oil into gold, with the renminbi serving as an intermediary funding step. If BRICS had its pricing benchmark for gold rather than being subject to London or New York's pricing, this infrastructure would potentially complete the goal of de-dollarizing the global oil trade, making it possible to trade oil using gold with minimum exposure to exchange risk. In 2017, Sergei Svetsov, the first deputy chairman of Russia's central bank, announced that the BRICS countries were in talks to establish a unified gold trading system. This system would operate both within BRICS and in bilateral contracts, according to Svetsov. He had previously brought up the idea during a visit to China in 2016. The significance of this development is that it could lead to a BRICS alliance in the physical gold market, where member countries have significant stakes. China, Russia, South Africa, and Brazil are major producers of gold, while China and India are the world's largest consumers of metal. A BRICS single gold trading system would enable the creation of a new gold pricing benchmark based on global physical gold trading rather than gold derivatives. This, combined with gold-backed trading of yuan oil futures, could facilitate the swapping of oil for gold rather than for U.S. Treasury securities. Such a move would further de-dollarize the global oil market. The potential benefits of a BRICS single gold trading system extended beyond de-dollarization. However, it could also strengthen domestic currency stability by freeing BRICS members from foreign pricing. This would reduce their vulnerability to external financial shock and lessen the risk of currency speculation and manipulation by external actors. The BRICS countries are taking steps to reduce their dependence on the US dollar and de-dollarize the global economy. In addition to the single gold trading system, they are exploring alternative payment systems such as BRICS Pay and the use of national currencies in external payments. They are also considering alternative pricing mechanisms such as the yuan oil futures. While it is unlikely that the US dollar will be replaced as the dominant global currency soon, these efforts may contribute to a more multipolar and diversified global financial system.